we could. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So basically, people who know me know that you hardly see me doing video interviews. You usually find me writing. Like behind the scenes, writing stuff and all that. Okay. So I think in June, Father's Day, usually my interactions with people, we hear that fathers, they don't talk. We don't really know what they feel. So maybe I don't know whether that's why Father's Day, we hardly get, it's difficult for the marketers to know how to package products to kind of sell it out for fathers. So I think I put it out. I got 3 guys who are willing to share their stories. So far, I think we have 2 on the blog. But one father says, hey, I send the questions to him and he says, hey, I want to do a video instead. And I'm like, okay, then this is one of my areas I'm working on. Let's kill 2 birds. Let's get the video done. And let me also use the opportunity to start my video interview. So Yussif, thank you so much for the for availing yourself. And we could just start since with the questions. Can you just tell us about yourself briefly?
All right. I'm also quite privileged and grateful for the opportunity to share some thoughts as a parent or some thoughts as a dad. Of course, the institution of marriage comes along with these other nuances, people may want to call it, or other associated issues which we call, or that will promulgate one into the status of a dad. Of course, under some circumstances, everybody or people will say the status of a dad is not by accident, it's a blessing and it's from our maker. People have been in marriage for ages, but no child. But when God blesses you with a child or more, it throws the responsibility gap quite wide open. But of course, as an overview and to also introduce myself, I will basically say I am Yussif Mohammed Amin Wulon, the man with one of the longest names, but I'm known quite well as Yussif. I think my professional world, the Yussif is widely known, but I'm a born and bred Mohammed Amin. The Wulon is a family name. So you shouldn't bother yourself attempting to master or know all. The Yussif is okay and it's enough. Right. So basically that is what I would say. Then if the questioning will start at this stage or I have to still go further, then I will do before I throw. Yes, thank you so much.
All right. So now we know that Yussif, basically, how many kids do you have?
I'm blessed with 3 currently.
So my most important question, what was like your expectation before fatherhood, then actually entering fatherhood? How has it been before and after? I would like to know your expectation before and after.
All right. I think in order not to unnecessarily narrow the topic or unnecessarily narrow for the purpose of people who may want to know or we sharing our thoughts and our experiences. Yes, marriage in itself, let me be frank with you, marriage was an institution that I used to fear. So I got into it around 33. I think I had a platform where I was well prepared and I could have just joined the institution. Maybe one would say the right person didn't come at the time, but I think psychologically I wasn't prepared for it. I also have the feeling that as somebody who was going to lead an institution, because I saw parents or I saw my dad, uncles, and other, will I call them mentors, how they were running their show, couple that with institution. And young men after school, with this worldly issue of everybody wanting to grow, you want to be the next CEO, the next MD, the next GM, the next operation this, the next marketing that. Sometimes you lose sight of the fact that these things have to go in tandem with familyhood or family lifestyle. And that was one of the key challenges basically I was facing. So I used to see marriage and fatherhood as a big responsibility. And I thought I wasn't prepared for it. So I was afraid. So basically, if I'm to say what was my expectation or what was I expecting, I was expecting something quite tedious. And marriage itself, for me, I see it as an institution of reconciliation. If you ask me to define marriage, marriage is reconciliation. And if you pick it from that angle, it helps the institution quite better because at the end of the day, you need to reconcile thoughts. You need to reconcile your divergent views. The same way when the kids start coming, every individual or the kids, they all come with their lifestyle. You may set the base for them, but of course, you can't deny the fact that, look, Mr. A or my first child, Iman, is an attention-seeking type. And I identify that early. And you have to, in a way, find a way of bringing her on board, bringing everybody on board. The second one is more like the quiet type, but very observant. And if you want him to go the free flow like the first and the third, who are the free flow type, you have a challenge. So as a father, I am forced to observe. And it's part of the leadership that you bring on board because you can't be a dad when you are not a leader. Every father somehow will have to let go some bit of the ego thing and then some kind of, if you like, machoism or chauvinism in order to, as it were, show concern and observe the needs of, or attend to the needs of every person within the scope. So you have to first study every individual and you have to first identify what their challenges are. So basically, I can say that now in terms of how it is like, there's no more fear. It only comes along with responsibility. You can't be a dad who is not responsible. I mean, it will not work. Basically, it will not work. Right.
Okay. You mentioned one very interesting bit, letting go of ego. This ego issue is one of the challenges with, should I say, men than fathers, and I'm sure that this linkage with the misconceptions of what fathers can do. Apparently, it's not like before when we had the dads working, taking care of everything. Then maybe the women at home taking care of the family. With economic situation and everything, everyone is on board. So, so from your end, 3 kids. For me, I have 2 kids. Like I always say, perfect number. If anything, you take one, I take one. We share. But with 3 kids, how do you manage it? Like, how do you support your wife? I'm sure you mentioned your wife is working. She's a doctor. So like, how do you manage? People want to know the reality.
In fact, I must be sincere with everyone. Maybe there is something information I'll leak at this stage. I am a Muslim, and with our Muslimhood and whatever, there is that I'm from a polygamous home. Let me state that. So seeing, and I'm used to a large family size dynamics because I've seen it, I live with it, so I know how it goes. But I must be sincere with you here. My wife is one of the best. And in fact, I sometimes would say I pity her. The reconciliation bit I talked about when I started with the issue of family or marriage, when I said it's all about reconciliation. Where I lack a lot, she complements. And one thing is that I know it's part of maybe a way of showing love for a woman to say, what does my husband want? I want to cook that for her, for him, sorry. Me, I don't do that with my wife. I have never ever on earth asked that I need fufu to eat today. I need this way. Whatever happens, it goes. I know from day one, I was going into this institution with someone who is in the working class. I did not marry a housewife, but a professional, or if you like, someone out there. And of course, we all know the engagements of a medical officer, especially somebody at Kolebu and at one of the critical units. Yes. And I think even before Kolebu, the other district hospitals that she was working at, it wasn't easy. At times, she had to go to work and come back. And as soon as she gets back to the house, there's a call for her to go back and run operations or surgical, whatever, had to go save lives here and there, have to go deliver babies, and complications and all. There had been times the person leaves and come back to the house around 3 a.m. I mean, meaning she had worked practically 24 hours. She gets back to the house, quickly freshen up and goes back to the hospital. And this is the reality. And the person will still make time to cook when she comes around. But of course, making certain basic things available, supporting the person in other ventures. When I eat my food, when they cook, I don't go and say, I sit as a big man with my ego, bring my food, come and place it on the table. Forgive me, men, I don't do that. But it doesn't mean that everybody and his style. Maybe it's a way the person equally appreciates one or two basic things. And of course, the kids, their homeworks and other things. I just don't wait for her, but she does much of it, I must confess. She has some unbelievable patience and she's able to attend to certain, seriously, I'm not joking. When I say unbelievable patience, she's able not to shout too much at kids. She's able to like accommodate everybody, bring everybody on board. Maybe that makes me, or that gives me some bit of space to also do things that may sound more like I'm the champion or the glory should come to me. No, I think the glory should be hers in this case because she's able to run that and run that well. And she's a workaholic also and talks little, unlike me being a marketing person. And I am able to run more PR stuff. People who know, people with science background or medicine, they talk a little, and that is how it has been. But frankly speaking, I send the kids to school first in the morning. It is my duty unless I travel. It is something that I do unapologetically, and it creates some bit of bond between me and the kids. While we are having this, one is hitting the door. Necessarily, they have to always be by me. And when I'm coming home, of course, one of the key things is that at least the quality time I spend with them, be it a minute, 2, 3, I always want them to be around me. And it is one thing, of course, that entices. I think my wife, I also detected that she tends to love it when the father is around the kids. The father shows some concern. So, and that is how we have, in terms of complementing her effort or how I see how we have run it, has been the story.
I think if you answered everything. Okay, so where are they? Oh, they could say hi. I hear them in the background.
Yeah, they were hitting the door. I had to lock one to enable us talk. Either than that, they'll surely want to come and say hi, and I'll open them. They will come here and they will love to talk even. Yes, I won't hide that from you. Yes, okay. Right. They will soon move in here. Okay, while we continue, they'll come. Yes.
So I think the misconceptions, we really covered them into detail because I end up talking to people most of the time, and you realize that some of these little things that kind of bring up that disagreements in marriages, because at the end of the day, to raise the kids, both of you have to be on the same level. it starts from both of you. If both of you are not on the same level, you can do your best. There will be some effect on the kids, whatever you do. So I'm happy that although I'm focusing on fatherhood, you are also I see you kind of linking it to marriage and all that. It's very, very important. Because most of the issues that come up, okay, I'm so tired, I've closed from work. My husband says he wants to food. Like he wants to food, but you won't come and help me pound or do anything. So it's like all these things are going on in there. Meanwhile, we are supposed to kind of complement each other. Where I lack, you kind of fall in. Once in a while, we rotate depending on my availability, just to ensure that like we are there for the kids. But so I know that you already had expectation of fatherhood because you grew around a family, like you said, family, a large size family.
Yes.
You have a small size family. So what drives you? Because I know the kids can drive you crazy. You can't hate them, you still love them. But what drives you to still be the best, not be like that strict dad, hey, sit here, but try to be the best for them and be there for them.
All right. That bit, I would say, just like every other human being, you
Just a minute.
shouting. I don't believe in necessarily shouting at people to get my attention. I think I can see somebody who had worked with me for some number of years online, and basically there is something very important. There's something important here he knows about me, which is that I'll get you to do things for me without necessarily shouting at you.
Okay.
Yes. And I think I had applied that to the family, or I've applied that in managing the home.
Okay. Is it
I
because you're
realized
marketing?
I don't want, I don't know, because funny enough, I actually ran through almost all spheres of our job, whatever, from the administration to more like engineering bits, then more of operations and more of marketing or sales, and dealing with people. Of course, I would say largely would be the contributory factor. But I still refer to the old family structure where you were to contend with a lot of people, because we were many, surely, and everybody was struggling to find his way through things. Anyway, so basically that is the story. To say the least, the kids, when you give them the chance to express themselves, it builds their confidence. And I realized that that particular thing has helped them so much. I don't allow them to feel timid. I don't do that. Let them talk. Let's pick one or two things and correct. Then you tell the person, oh, the man, this one, no, I'm sorry. You can't use this word. You can't use that word. This person is a brother. This person is a human being. You come into the world with the same equal rights and all that. So you need to understand the language you use. So can you kindly go and tell the person sorry? And they do it. And if one of them does something wrong, the other expect that, look, you need to say sorry. And the person will, Daddy, Junior has done this so he didn't say sorry. I said, go and tell him to tell you sorry. Oh, Junior, why didn't you say sorry? The person will have to express it. So over the period, that is how we have managed it. I don't shout at them. But of course, there are times once in a while, like our usual saying, spare the rod and spoil the child. When it's getting out of hand, you need to shout. You need to say, hey, this one is unacceptable. And a child demanding certain things at all times, no. Let the individual know that times do change. And you can't have, they say no condition is permanent. Life cannot be smooth all the time. They need to appreciate all those stuff. And sometimes we deliberately allow them to walk from school to the house. Instead of going to pick them up with a vehicle, no, we allow them to walk. And as a form of exercise and as a form for them to appreciate that if we are all eating one food in the house, everybody accepts that is the food we are all eating. And of course, we will not say because we are all eating that food, somebody has a special medical issue. It's not every food that the person eats. We won't force the person. Especially my second child, we identify that, and we are very cautious of that. So that is how I go. I don't shout so much. No, we don't do that. Mm.
Sure. So I think with your experience, fatherhood sound like, oh, so easy. I know there are responsibilities and all that. Let's say incoming fathers, newbies, like what kind of advice would you want to give to them before they enter?
The first part will have to do with the spouses. You as the spouses, I mean, I probably would say if there's no love or if there's no bondage between the parties and the kids tend to kind of like align with one party or they divide to align with dad or ma, trust me, there will be cracks. And you don't shout. I never had any quarrels, open quarrels, let me say, or open disagreement with my wife. In fact, let me say largely we don't disagree. The areas we disagree, we always bring it to thought. When I express thoughts or she expresses a thought and we disagree, we have a way of coordinating it behind the scenes. There has never been an occasion where our kids have to see dad having a frown face or looking too sad. And what is it? The person asks, and I'm to give reason now. Mom has done this. No, that doesn't happen. And you see, we always talk about family compatibility. The compatibility also comes with suitability.
Yeah.
Are you suited for each other? We may talk about the compatibility. You come in, you are compatible, but certain basic things are there. They may not be suitable for you guys to allow you to bond well. So if you don't allow that bit to flow, surely people say, oh, they are compatible. Medically, you may be compatible. Religious-wise, you may be compatible. When it comes to tribe, you may be compatible because certain people are very sensitive about tribal marriages, people about health and all that. But when it comes to that bondage, which we talk about sustainability or what do you call it, suitability, is it there? If it's absent, then let's just forget it. And all this thing will transcend to the kids. If they see that, oh, there's love at that top there, they follow. At least dad and mom, you go out with the kids together. We do outing together. I don't go with only the kids, except my wife traveling or me traveling. Even that one, the people will say, the kids will say, do you want to go with dad will have to be here or mom will have to be here. So we do that together. They see how we flow. And you know, we do say kids learn faster when they observe things. Yes, the talking, we can do plenty. It will not solve anything. By way of the actions will help the situation. And in fact, as an advice, I will first say, don't ever disrespect your spouse in a manner that will let kids or any outside or any other person sees that disrespect and it will permeate into their lifestyle. It's another way of giving them assurance. And again, every child needs security. When I talk of security, do we really care for your children? Do you plan ahead of time? You know, children hate to be disgraced. That is my little view about things. Imagine kids go to school, they sack them from school, and like they are disgraced before their colleagues. Sometimes, you know how our educational system goes. Some teachers will go to the extent of caning their children for not paying the fees. Meanwhile, they are not the ones to pay the fees. Take the issue out with the parent. But my one uncle once told me before I got into marriage that when children are between the ages of 5 and 10, they tend to be more like sensitive to their pride than anything. So any little thing that will let them feel demeaned, they don't like. So we need to study that bit and we see how we relate to them, how you shout at them in public, how or you correct them before their peers and all. So that some of the things use eye contact. They understand it. Yes, they do. If in the house you begin with that thing, the person is doing something, you wash the person away without shouting. I remember my first, I would say, hey, Junior, you see, daddy is looking at you. See, daddy is looking at you. See the way daddy is watching you. Stop, stop. I didn't talk, but the issue is corrected. So we may
Yeah.
divide some of these as means of managing them. And they are very lovely people to actually be with, I must confess.
True.
Very, very lovely people. Sometimes the kind of words or the kind of terms or things that the intuitiveness, things that come out of their mind, you ask yourself, wow, was this person coach or somebody just mentioned to him or her to come and present? You know, and it makes life interesting. So they are like now my best friends in life. They are. We chat a lot when we are on the way to school. We chat when we are doing outing. When we are in the house together, if they are not on their movies or their schooling things or teachers taking care of their homework, taking care of their works, or they having homework or works to be done, they will come in with chats openly. And I don't lie to them. I must also confess, I don't lie to my kids. No, 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 no. It's not part of our show. And I show them the fact that, look, tell me the truth. It's better. We'll say this one, don't do it again. This is how you go about it. But when you frighten the child at the early stages, when the person sees certain things, he or she will be hiding. But if you tell the person, no, this one is not right, but don't shout too much. When you do, the person gets frightened. And that is how we have run our show so far. Yes.
Let me take it. I know with your wife's I know with your work too, sometimes you have to be on the road. What support mechanism do you have in place? Because and as much as you say you complement each other, there'll be days when both schedules won't work to help you take care of the kids. So what support mechanisms do you?
I think this one, unfortunately, I would say okay, let me not use the word unfortunately. As women, there is this issue, I think sometimes people do say, we have 10 minutes or so remaining. We'll manage. I'll make this one brief. Seriously speaking, this issue of bringing in a maid or having a nanny, I think sometimes it's not easy getting the best of people. You may find somebody who could do certain things and behavior-wise is something else. We had, lucky now, all these things that we talk about, trust me, we had a nanny who lived with us, an old or an aged person. And she also served more like a mother figure to my wife at the time. But there were a lot of things that the woman could not. Cooking wasn't part of her show, out of it. But managing the kids when we are away or when they return from school was good for us. And we'll come in. But in terms of both of us traveling and leaving them, I think it only happened once.
Okay.
The next time we had the opportunity to do so, we traveled with all of them. And it was also fun going on a long haul, moving from Accra to northern part of Ghana. And it was fun, yes. But every home, I would say, especially the working class, we need some support service, kind of. It means that we have to generate income that will support you on that. It is not easy, of course. It's not easy running that part. It's not. And family in itself is all about commitment that comes with that responsibility we call people responsible father or responsible parents. At this time, I do not think that we need to even be using the word father and mother. We should just say, well, probably we should just say parent and parent. Seriously, I grew up knowing very well that I was having this mindset that my father was doing everything. My father was in terms of the funds and whatever provision. But later in life, I got to know that my mom was contributing more than people were seeing, because sometimes our dresses and stuff she used to buy. And the same thing, I didn't have this bungalow lifestyle or the formal home lifestyle. I came from the streets, sort of, from the Zongos kind of. And transitioning into this life, I know the two worlds, how they look like. And surely speaking, I will forever say that. And people will need extra hand. And those times you see, extended family system was helping.
Yeah.
When we had that bigger whatever, I had other siblings, senior people who were helping, or other aunties who were always around helping out, and their needs were also catered for. But we, in a way, fading out that thing, which is not good in my view. Let's embrace more of the extended family system, maybe. They have their disadvantages, they have their complications, but they are very necessary. I think the white man today is actually embracing that lifestyle. They realize that the African man is better off with the extended family system. And how I can't imagine my father or mother at old age, I'll go and dump the person at home age. It means there's no affection. Let them be around, let them guide that they play with their grannies, and it helps the show. Maybe sometimes some people will say, when you bring mother-in-laws or whatever into the home, they will cause more confusion. So I would say manage them. Not all of them are required, but some of the extended family, if you think they can help, why not? But seriously, I will ask that everybody maybe you need cash, but you need an additional hand. You need that hand. That is,
Very, very
yes,
important.
very important. I think there's some bit of darkness around here. Let me just, we are in our current situation in the country, we all know.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
they
think
just put off our lights.
it's
Markin.
a good whether anyone will have any questions. If there are any questions.
From me or from the panel of the people, the other people on?
If anyone has any questions at this. Okay. All right. I don't think we have any questions. Yeah. But hello.
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 How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm fine. What's your name?
Market.
Oh, all right. I like your name. What's your brother's name? I see him smiling behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you helping daddy out?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, you see,
Yes.
like I told you, this is just the beginning. We'll be having
That's fine.
we'll be having more sessions with time. So I'll make this. I'm sure if there are any questions, we'll gather up. We'll probably have another session. If not on fatherhood, but on those other things we will discussing behind the
fine.
scenes.
That's fine.
But, yeah. But
Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Yes, we thank you so much. And thanks everybody for coming. Yeah, bye.
Thank you.
Finish your meeting.
Yes, I finished the meeting. Yeah, good. I finished the meeting.
What is light though?
Yes. Yes, they'll bring back the lights. Okay.
They'll fix the light.
Yes.
Daddy.
Yes.
Daddy, when were in the room, did you finish your meeting?
No, I'm just finishing. We just started and we started a short while ago and we just finished. Mhm. Okay. They're signing out soon. Okay. I think we can say bye-bye to everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Right.